to look quickly at the front page together. Most of this is a review for you, okay? So I'm not going to work all of these problems with you just to save a little time on our video here. But the first two problems involve a clock, involve telling time, okay? Number one says, what time is it? Number two says, set the clock. So you're going to draw the minute hand and the hour hand in. Let's remember quickly, which hand tells you the hour? The short hand tells the hour. The long hand would then tell what? The minutes. That's correct, okay? Also remember, if the hour hand is not pointing at the number, okay, it's always the hour before, okay? It's not this hour until the hour hand points directly at that number. Otherwise, it's the hour before, okay? Remember that and check carefully on your worksheet today as you look at the first two problems. Now, number 3 says, find the sum of the sides. Each side is 3 centimeters long. Well, look at this. This shape is a square. That means all sides are equal. So each side is 3 centimeters long. You're going to do repeated addition. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay? That's not a problem for you. Number 4. Number 4 says count the cents and add. Okay? Look at these coins. Remember their values. Okay? Fill that in here. Then you're going to add the 2-digit numbers. Remember, you always start in that ones place first, okay? Number 5 says write the answer, okay? They've asked you to look at the hundredths place, the ones place, and the tens place. You're simply going to look at that place and determine its value. How many tens do you have? How many ones? How many hundredths, okay? Now, we are going to look at number 6. We're going to work these problems together because we briefly looked at it on Monday, but I think we still need to keep working on this, okay? You are adding 3-digit numbers, okay? Notice you're going to be carrying to, some you'll be carrying to the tens column, some you will be carrying to the hundredths, okay? So let's look at these together. I've got my whiteboard. I went ahead and wrote the problems on my whiteboard. You can get your whiteboard and you can just do one problem at a time, okay? We're gonna start with the first problem. I just labeled them A, B, and C on my board. They're not labeled on your worksheet, okay? But it is the same problem on your worksheet. It's 874 plus 16, okay? Let's look at this one together. Now you may pause the video and write that problem on your board. Remember, it's on your worksheet, so you can copy it from there. Most importantly, is that you line up your ones place, your tens place, and your hundredths place. If you do not do that, you will get an incorrect answer. Okay, go ahead and write this problem on your board. You may pause it. We're going to work it together. Let's look at this together, okay? You should have written it by now, okay? Always start in that ones place. 4 plus 6 equals what? 10. Yes, look, let me write this here. 4 plus 6 equals 10. Boys and girls, I can't put 2 digits here. Therefore, I'm going to write the ones in the ones place. I'm going to carry this 10. I have 1 10. I'm going to carry that 10 right here. You have a box to write it in, I believe, on yours. Okay? Now, let's add the tens column. Don't forget this 10 that you carried. You have 1 plus 7 plus 1. 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. Boys and girls, this means you have 9 tens. That's how many tens you have, okay? Now, let's look at the hundredths column. 8 plus, remember when there's no number, that represents 0. 8 plus 0 is, you got it, 8. Anything plus 0 is that number. Okay, so 874 plus 16 equals 890. Check your work. How did you do? Okay, let's look at the next problem together. Here we go. I want you to write this on your board. 534 plus 172. Remember to line those numbers up. That's so, so, so important. You may pause it and do that now. We will come back and check the work together. Okay, you should have done the work. Let's check it. Let's check it. 4 plus 2 is 6. Very should know those addition facts. 3 plus 7 is 10. Now let's think about this. I can't write 2 digits here, all right? And let's think about what this means. This means I have 10 tens. That is my tens place. I have 10 tens. What does that mean? I'm going to set my board down. We're going to skip count by 10, and I'm going to use my fingers just to help represent, okay? I have 10 tens, so count with me the number that I have, okay? Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 10 tens is 100, okay? So that's what that means, all right? Now, back to my problem. I just wanted to demonstrate that for you. Back to my problem. 3 plus 7 is 10. I have 10 tens. I can't put that number here. I'm going to write the 0. We decided 10 tens is 100, so guess what? I'm carrying that 100 to the hundredths column. I have 100. Now I'm going to add my hundredths column. 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. Boys and girls, that means I have 7 100s. 0 tens, 6 ones, okay? Now, look at problem C. 684 plus 225. I want you to pause the video and write this on your whiteboard. You may go ahead and work it, and we'll come back and look at it together. Do that now. Let's look at that problem together, okay? Always start in the ones place. I hope you remembered that. 4 plus 5 is 9. 8 plus 2 is 10. Let's look at that. 8 plus 2 equals 10. That means, once again, I have 10 tens. That gives me a 100. So I'm going to write the 0 in the tens place. I'm carrying that 100 to the hundreds place. 10 tens is 100. I've got a 100. I've got how many hundreds? Let's see. Let's add them together. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. I have how many 100s? I have 900. How many tens do I have? Look at the tens place. 0 tens. How many ones do I have? 9 ones. Very nice. Okay, that's what this is all about. That's what we're carrying, okay? We're going to keep working on that, okay? That's one of those things that you practice, practice, practice. Okay, now let's quickly look at the back page. I want you to turn to page 320. Okay, now before I work this with you, I've got a problem up on my board, and I want to go over it with you. Okay, yesterday I baked cookies. I told each of my children that they could have 2 cookies each. I want to figure out how many cookies I baked. Okay, so let's remember, I have 5 children, so I have 5 plates. They each got 2 cookies. We're going to decide how many cookies we had in all. But first, I want you to answer some questions with me, okay? Let's look at A. How many plates do I have? How many children? Remember, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to fill in my box. I have 5 plates. How many cookies are on each plate? Well, we just talked about that. I made 2 cookies for each of them. So I have 5 plates of 2 cookies. How many cookies did I bake in all? Well, let's do this. We could do this. We could say 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Look at this. I have 5 2's. Okay? We could do repeated addition, or we could just skip count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. How many in all? 10. Boys and girls, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay? That's called repeated addition. Okay? Boys and girls, you just did multiplication. Multiplication. Okay? When you multiply a number, you basically add groups of the same number. Okay? You do repeated addition. It's the same thing as skip counting. Let me show you what this looks like in multiplication. I had 5 plates with 2 cookies each. talked about in math? This is my multiplication symbol. It is an X. You would read this 5 times 2 equals 10. Boys and girls, multiplication is adding groups of the same number, okay? It's just like skip counting. 5 times 2 equals 10. I'm going to teach you some vocabulary really quickly. My 5 and my 2 are what you call factors. Factors. The answer that I get is a product. 10 is the product of 5 times 2. Now, I know that's going to be kind of difficult for you to remember. This is something we'll continue to look at. But the way I remember it is when I go to the store, I buy a product. That product is usually made in a factory. That helps me remember. Factors equal product. Okay? Now, we're going to look at your paper today. All right? We're going to continue to work on this, but you are already starting multiplication. Isn't that cool? It's so cool. Now, let's look at the paper together, and I'm going to help you with this, okay? Look at number 1 on your paper. It says, look at the picture, write the correct number. Let's fill this in together. I'm going to grab something to write on here. Okay, the first box says, how many vases? Boys and girls, how many vases do you count? Here, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 vases. How many flowers are in each vase? Well, that's simple. 2, 4, 6. They each have 2. 2 flowers in each vase. How many flowers in all? Well, let's skip count. Okay? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. There are 14 flowers in all. You may be filling in your boxes as I go. Boys and girls, look at this. Let me show you what this says. 7, remember my symbol, times 2 equals 14. That's my product. You have 7 vases with 2 flowers each. 7 times 2 equals 14. Okay, very nice. Now, let's look at the next problem together. How many nests do you see? 3. Yes, go ahead and fill that in. How many birds are in each nest? 2 birds in each nest. How many birds in all? 2, 4, 6. Very nice. Boys and girls, this is the same thing as saying 3 times 2. Those are my factors. I have 3 groups of 2. 3 times 2 equals, what's my product? 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. This is no problem for you. I know this is not any problem for you. Okay, let's look at number 2. Draw 2 cookies in each cookie jar. I've already drawn it. I just drew circles for my cookies. If you want to pause it and decorate your cookies, please do so. I love creativity. Now, go ahead and draw cookies in your cookie jar. And if you need a moment, pause the video. Okay, we're going to look at this together. Okay. How many jars do you have? You have 4 jars. Very nice. How many cookies are in each jar? How many did you draw? You drew 2 cookies in each jar. How many cookies in all? 2, 4, 6, 8. You can skip count or you can multiply. 4 times 2. Those are my factors. I have 4 groups of 2. 4 times 2 equals 8. My product is 8. Very nice. Now let's look at this next problem. Number 3, circle each group of 2. I've already done that on my paper. You may do it on yours. You could pause if you need that extra time. Okay, you're going to circle a group of 2 ladybugs. Okay, go ahead and do that, and then we're going to fill in these boxes. Okay, let's fill in the answers. Here we go. How many groups do we have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You should have 8 groups just like I have 8 groups. How many are in each group? Well, we circled 2 for each group, so there are 2 ladybugs in each group. I have 8 groups of 2. How many in all? Well, let's skip count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, 8 groups of 2 equals 16. Or you could say 8 times, remember that multiplication symbol, 8 times 2 equals 16. Look at that. You can go tell your family now that you know what 8 times 2 is. 8 times 2 equals the product of 16. Great job. Now, last thing you're going to do today. Number 4 says write the sums, mark the circle. Boys and girls, you're simply going to add your numbers, get the sums. You're going to compare those numbers using your symbols. Let's quickly remember what those symbols are, okay? I've got my sign here. I really want you to work on remembering what these symbols are, okay? You have the greater than symbol and the less than symbol, okay? Remember, the greater than symbol, you always come to the greater side, okay? Less than symbol, you always come to the smaller side. I want you to work on remembering what these symbols look like, okay? I know you like to use also the gator eats the number that is greater. That works as well. Okay, now I want you to go back and finish all of your problems on your worksheet. Check over your work. Make sure that you did the best job you could do. Okay, and I will see you for our next lesson.